Welcome back to SKC.World, the world of conscious entrepreneurship. Over the past 3 weeks, you watched the scaling up story of Amit and Sheetal. Today we feature Atul Jewellers, one of the very well-known jewellery brands of India, headed by Atul Jain, an entrepreneur who is the mind behind the first private gemology lab of India. He was later joined by his nephew Sulabh Jain, who brought his IT capabilities, and together they run a 21st century jewellery business. The story of Atul Jewellers started way back in the early 1960s in the old streets of Chandni Chowk, in an area called Maliwada. Atul's father, late Shri Inder Chand Jain, founded this business out of his passion and named it Khoop Chand Inder Chand in the year 1963. Later in 1966, when Atul was born, the company was rechristened Atul Jewellers.
I was born and brought up in my store, I would say. You won't find another entrepreneur who's born and brought up in a store. My play field was store, my work field was store. I used to do my homework at my store. I spent my entire time at the store, and by 1980, when I was in class 10th, I was handling the store independently. 1983, when I was to give my board exams for class 12th, I had to take a 2-month leave from my store to give my board exams.
Atul's business has been in sync with his life. He had already learned the tricks of the trade and now wanted to specialize in the field of gemology, which at that time was unheard of. People would opt for engineering or medical or even commerce, but Atul decided to take a different path.
My father was the one who actually gave me a pat on the back. Okay, go ahead. You want to study scientific knowledge about this field?
In 1984, Atul went on to become the youngest student of gemology studies in India. And by the time it ended in 1985, Atul had topped in the country. Before Atul had started the course, he attended one of the most prestigious conferences of his industry in Taj Hotel, Mumbai, where many would be awarded for their achievements.
So it was my dream that when would I be there at Taj, Mumbai, to receive this award. So I saw that dream sometime in 78, 79, and my dream was fulfilled as early as 84 when at the annual award function I got an award for the best student of the year. And if a client walks in, we tell them what is the right value of their piece. We don't try to pick it up from them for a pittance and then sell it for more. These are the ethics that were passed on to me by my father. So these were the dreams. Slowly and gradually the dreams grew bigger and the business was scaled up, but with ethics.
In an industry which did not have any formal scientific ways of working, Atul had decided to do it with high integrity and values, completely through international standards. This dream led Atul to establish India's first private gem certification lab called Diamond Grading and Certification Laboratory. This came in at a time when there were only 3 government-operated labs and most of the gem trade was happening without any independent third-party certification, which left a lot of space for fraudulent activities. But Atul had a vision of transparency towards the customer.
This is 2004, let 2010 be there and let us see how many diamonds sell on a piece of paper or certificate, basis of certificate. And now I meet the same jewelers, your vision was right. So that was a turning point when we set up this laboratory in 2004, and that is when the trade took me seriously. That yes, here is a person who means business and here is a person who has a vision, and that empowerment to the client came in with that transparency that yes, a third party certification is necessary between the trusted dealing between a jeweler and a client.
Atul is a visionary, and with changing time, he always tried to keep himself to date. In December 2011, his nephew Sulabh, who was an engineer, decided to help him in this endeavor.
That was the time when I actually started doing something in this trade. I started making the website because I liked making websites. And on the journey, I came to know about solitaires and how they are traded, what is the value, what are the various aspects of it. That was the time when I started feeling interested in this line. So after almost working for 6 months on that, I thought about leaving my job, coming to Delhi, and then probably joining this trade.
Sulabh joined Atul Jewellers at a time when they were transitioning into a new market and opening up their new store. Soon after the duo had this new store running in Lajpat Nagar, they became one of the biggest B2B diamond and precious gem supplier to the biggest jewelers in Delhi. The year 2014 came as a turning point in the lives of Atul and Sulabh.
He did the EPP with SKC. That was in 2014, I suppose. So once he did it, he came to know about a lot of things. Things were more transparent because till that date we were working. But we had no plans that, okay, what we are planning for future. So once he completed it, he asked me that I think you should also do it, so that if we both are on the same scale, we can actually have those kind of discussions and we can take some big leaps. So that was the time when we started to change and go.
When I was told that you have to set your goals by Sameer sir first, I think it was the second session in EPP, and I was clueless. I said, what is my goal? I've been working for 50 years now, but what is my goal? So, yes, and that's when we set the goal. My first goal which I set up was to set up Atul Jewellers as a brand by 2020.
When they had set their goal as well as their vision, the need for scaling up began. Atul Jewellers was in a pure B2B trade, but due to this new vision that they had set, they started to work upon setting Atul Jewellers as a brand by the year 2020. They started off with streamlining their processes. They completely changed the way they worked. Professionalism became a very big value for them. At the same time, they never compromised on any of their other values.
Just as Sulabh said, the growth meant pulling out time for ourselves. We were working 18 to 20 hours a day. I mean, even at home we were working 4 hours a day after spending 16 hours in the office. So the growth meant a lot of time management. Growth meant a lot of organized way of working. Growth meant a lot of delegation of work. To us, growth meant more than that. So, and in effect, once these things were achieved, the number growth in terms of profits or in terms of turnover, it came automatically.
The key advantage that Atul Jewellers has maintained since they turned their focus from B2B to retail market is that they have not changed their pricing structure. Thus, they offer the same jewelry at wholesale prices to retail customers, giving them a huge edge over their competition. Through all these endeavors, Atul Jewellers has been growing at an amazing pace since mid-2015.
In the first few years, we were able to achieve 2x and then 3x, and now we are looking at 5x.
What an amazing journey! Not only did they scale up, but they did so on their own terms joyfully. Tune in next week to see how the duo overcome their challenges and what benefits they gauge out of their growth. Like and subscribe to SKC.World to watch more such weekly scaling up stories of amazing entrepreneurs. Get inspired to succeed, scale, and create joy with SKC.World.